If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Let that stick in, right? Let that stick into you right there. And that does, right? That stings. And it's true. What can we do when we're sleeping, there's leads coming in, or there's money coming in? And vending, right? You're not there for these 10 machines. Every day somebody's buying a Diet Coke or a bag of protein chips from you, and you're making money as you sleep. And so I believe what Warren said 100%, we got to follow that, right? I talk about the vending business as a gateway business to open up the doors of financial freedom. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to have to do work. Running a business has its own challenges. You know, some people are content working their job. They know when they get off, they're not going to have any headache. I completely understand that. But if you want to put yourself in a better position and eventually be able to retire, you got to start planning. This morning, as I got up to go to the gym, I noticed I needed gas. So I drove down to the Chevron station like I do every couple weeks, and went in, got an energy drink, and was paying for my gas. And the gentleman that's always there, he's super nice. And we always chatted up, and we've always talked about owning businesses and things like that. And then today he said, hey, I'm going to be coming into about $10,000 or $12,000, and I got to get out of this job because he works the graveyard shift. I get up very early to go to the gym. He's just getting off usually when I go into the gas station. And so we've had numerous conversations. So today we kind of dove into it a little bit more, and he was telling me that he's going to get $10,000 or $12,000. I'm not sure how. He's probably in his early 30s, late 20s. I think he had mentioned he had several children, married, and he works the graveyard shift, right? And that's like the worst. Working the graveyard shift at a gas station, I don't think that would be very fun, because I see him when I go in the morning. I'm just getting up, and he's, he looks dead tired. And over numerous conversations, I know he's looking to do something, right? But he's pretty much stuck. He's living paycheck to paycheck, and he definitely wants out. He wants a better life for himself and his family. So today we're going to talk about kind of the conversation we had. I think it's relevant to a lot of people, and it might just help you. So stay tuned. So the reality of working graveyard shift at a gas station, probably making $20 an hour. I don't know what they make these days. If you've got a family and you got to pay rent, the cheapest rent you could probably find is $1,500 here in Las Vegas. So it doesn't give you that much extra cash. I don't know if his wife works or not, but the reality of it is look, we got to build a plan so you can escape working this job, because it's you can see it in his face. He's dog tired. He's beat up. And, he's at the age now where he's got to make a change. And how do we get him to transition into business ownership? So I then began to ask him questions about his credit. And he said, yeah, relatively good credit. He said he had about 680 credit score. So I would dig deeper on that. And then I also dropped in and talked about the advantage of having really good credit, right? You want to really protect your personal credit. And then as you set up business entities, when your credit's good, you can go to a bank and say you open up your new business entity, and they'll say, hey, do you want a business credit card? And if you've got good personal credit, because they run your credit, they can issue a business credit card. And that is awesome, because if you charge that credit card up, it doesn't show up on your personal credit report. So over time, I've learned this the hard way, that you really have to build those business credit accounts. Now, I've heard people talking about Paydex, your Paydex score and all this and that. Can you get non-personal guarantee loans? Yes, eventually. But first you have to start with gas cards and things like that and build it up. So I find just having really good personal credit and understanding the credit game so you can get business cards that don't reflect on your personal credit report is the key. And I've done that successfully with many different businesses. And I have lots and lots of available credit, both in business lines of credit and credit cards. So that's a good step. Now, what type of business would work for this gentleman? So let's dive into that a little bit more. So I'm actually going to say I think vending would be a great start for this gentleman, because he can keep his job until he builds up enough income from these vending machines that he gets. And also he can finance them and leverage them. Going back to what we just talked about good personal credit, you can get SBA financing and equipment financing to fund these vending machines. You can also have lots of available credit on credit cards and business lines of credit, and you can use those. So having good credit, and obviously, as you have a business that's seasoned for 24 months, we call that TIB, the time in business. It's going to be even easier to get credit. So vending, he could start as simply as one machine. Obviously, you've heard us talk about vending here. We work with two groups that do packages, and they train you on vending, and you get assigned a coach, and they help locate the places to put the machines and all that good stuff. So there's ways of doing it depending on your available cash flow, and we can leverage SBA financing and get up to 90%. Or he could simply learn it, do it himself, and go through that way. You can do it both ways, right? Just how much time you have available. And, if you want resources that are going to hold your hand a little bit more, even place machines and maybe give you a leg up. And because you're buying a packages of machines from these businesses, the groups that I'm talking about, you can leverage SBA financing and get up to 90%. So anyways, regardless of which way he goes, a vending machine would be a great way to start, whether it's 1, 4, 6, 10, 20, or whatever he can start with, depending if he structures SBA financing and depending if he goes with a business opportunity or just does kind of bootstraps the business. He should find a mentor or some sort of coaching to get him up to snuff on, how to place machines, where the best profitability comes from the vending. Is it putting him at schools, hospitals, etc.? You got to learn a little bit, right? But the vending business is pretty easy. You spend about 1 hour per week per machine in theory, and then you're gonna control everything. If you're using modern technology, everything can be controlled. You can see when you're making sales on your smartphone through the point of sale system. So I like this business for him. On top of that, we've talked about tax write-offs from having a business now, and he can potentially offset some of the taxes he's paying on his W-2. So if he's making $3,600 a month or even $4,000 a month, how many vending machines do we need to replace the income? Now, once we get there, right, that might, I don't know the exact number because it's all going to be dependent on the type of machine, where you're putting these machines on exactly, how much revenue each machine is going to do and what the net will be after you spend money, filling the inventory for these vending machines. But the point is he can come to a conclusion and make his projections, but it wouldn't take too many vending machines to get him out of that $3,600 to $4,000 a month full-time gig at the gas station. So I think this business would be ideal. I talk about the vending business as a gateway business to open up the doors of financial freedom. Well, we already covered leveraging, right? We're going to leverage SBA financing, business credit. We're going to leverage equipment financing to be able to purchase these machines. But I want to dive into kind of Warren Buffett here. I have a quote from him. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Let that stick in, right? Let that stick into you right there. And that does, right? That stings. And it's true. What can we do when we're sleeping, there's leads coming in or there's money coming in? And vending, right? You're not there for these 10 machines. Every day somebody's buying a Diet Coke or a bag of protein chips from you, and you're making money as you sleep. And so I believe what Warren said, 100%, we got to follow that, right? So how does this apply to vending? Really, it becomes more of a semi-absentee or more of a passive business. Now, yes, you still have to work, fill the machines, go to Costco, Sam's Club, get the stuff. But as you can see, you're leveraging, and leveraging is the key to financial freedom. And then you take that extra cash flow each month and you reinvest into more machines, or you save it to start a bigger business, right? So as I said, it was a gateway business. Just because you have one vending business doesn't mean eventually you're not going to start some other business. When we talk about home service businesses, franchises, B2B type businesses, mom and pop business acquisitions. That's what our channel's all around, is helping people, aspiring entrepreneurs, become successful business owners. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to have to do work. Running a business has its own challenges. Some people are content working their job. They know when they get off, they're not going to have any headache. I completely understand that. But if you want to put yourself in a better position and eventually be able to retire, you got to start planning, whether that's you're going to be a great saver or you're going to start a cash flowing business. And I would suggest that if you want to expedite your ability to retire, you're going to have to start a business, right? And then you're going to take that extra cash flow over time and you're going to buy long-term real estate. and you're going to let that work for you as well. You got to get these leverage points. All right, now I want to talk to you about being a 100%er. What is a 100%er? I'm a member of a mastermind group, and being a 100%er means that your passive or semi-passive cash flow coming in, let's just say it takes you about $5,000 a month or $4,000 a month to pay your rent, all your food, insurances, everything, including your spending money. What is that number for you? Calculate that, guys. Take time, pause this video, calculate that number. I got to do a better job of that myself and figure out that number. For argument's sake, let's just say it's $4,000. So being a 100%er means you have $4,000 of semi-passive or passive income coming in. So how many vending machines will it take you to get there to essentially be able to stop doing your day job and be able to just live off the cash flow of this vending business? Right now, really the advantage would be if you didn't have to service those vending machines, because you're spending about 1 hour per week per machine. But just think about that concept. So eventually we're going to buy rental properties, right? We're going to learn about house hacking. This is the progression we should all take to grow our wealth and to become a 100%er, and ultimately 150%er, and then a 200%er, where we have enough cash flow coming in that all we do is just reinvest that cash flow. That's our job. So think about the 100%er rule, guys. Where you're at now, how are you going to take steps to becoming a 100%er if you're not there already? If you're feeling stuck in your job, guys, you're not that far off, okay? Develop a plan. Get into the vending business. There's other similar businesses that don't take much capital to start that you can leverage into using business credit, using equipment financing, using SBA financing. Make these steps. Why I talked about vending today, because it can be semi-absentee and it's a great gateway business. So I'm going to challenge you, and you need to make the first move to get you to financial freedom. Okay, just maybe that's learning about vending or learning about a similar type of business that can help you systematically start bringing in cash flow to eventually replace that job that you're working graveyard and you hate it. You can do it. We all can. Keep the personal credit scores high. Learn about credit. Learn how to keep your scores as close to 800 as possible, or better than 800, right? Because anything over 740, generally, you're going to get the best interest rates and the most leverage on when a bank gives you credit, right? When you go in and apply for a credit card, they have their algorithms that basically approve it on the spot. Typically, sometimes it goes in and they final how much they're going to give you as far as a credit line or a high revolving credit that you'll be able to achieve. But the bottom line is, build your financial plan. Know where you're at right now with your monthly outgo. What does it cost you all in each month? And then figure out what's your first step to become a 100%er. If you're ready to get going, you want to look at franchise, you want to look at vending, I can help you develop a plan. Go to bookwithbo.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Hi guys, Bo Exine here, and I'm with Baby Bo. Baby Bo is just a little over 4 months. He's my first child, my wife and I. So if you want to create legacy for your family, I highly suggest you go to our Business Ownership Summit. You can find all the events we're doing. Primarily, they're all free. You can go to boexine.com/events. And I hope to see you at one of our events. We teach business ownership, how to leverage SBA financing, tax strategies. I'm not a CPA or attorney, but we bring CPAs on. You're going to learn why everyone should own a small business. So I hope you attend. Go to boexine.com/events. I'll see you at the next one. Hey guys, Bo Exine here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.